Hi, welcome to Gouache with Anne. Today I'm painting Toronto. I'm in Kensington Market and it's such a vibrant place, so many things going on, so many people, stalls, and lots of restaurants. I always like to start my painting before I put the paint down with a drawing. A lot of times, if there's architecture, I'll use a triangle and a T-square so I can get my angles correct and my lines straight. I can also freehand it if I feel confident and I just want to make sure that things line up and are more or less accurate. In this case, I've also established a eye level line and a vanishing point that I can use to help me with the angles. First I wet the background and then I can drop in this the gouache, which is got a lot of water in it, so it's acting like watercolor paint. I really am enjoying adding this before I start putting in the more opaque gouache. I like it when the colors all mix together and it gives me a really good sense of what the painting could look like. When I'm looking for a reference picture and I'm looking around and I'm trying to figure out what can I take a good picture of that what I can use to do for a painting, I like to look for interesting angles in the shapes of the buildings. I don't want them to be going straight across the picture frame. So in this case, the dormer windows are really stand out and they offer a really nice shape contrast. I like to have the background kind of also be a little bit of a shape and then maybe include, in this case, just a small portion of the building on the left side. I also like to include some figures, and in this case I have put in the two figures in the foreground. There's a few people in the background as well, but I've also separated these two in the reference picture. They're much closer together. It's always nice if the figures are wandering around and you can take some great pictures while they're right there. But you can also take pictures of figures and then place them into your picture. As I did in one of my other ones of a cyclist, I moved him to a position that I felt was a better spot. So now it's time to start with gouache, and I'll start with the blue sky and the clouds and the trees, which are in the background. And then I'll work on the darks and distribute them throughout the painting. So working on the putting in the shadows on the left side of the painting, I'm going to keep them all in different shades of gray. I'm not going to add too much color. I don't want this area to really stand out that much. I just want it to show that there's some activity going on. The main focus is the two women. Getting these nice dark dormer window roofs in, and you can see what a wonderful feature that is. They really stand out against the other elements. And also this red awning, or it's a red tent, I suppose. I've made the figures too big, so I need to adjust them. I can see that they're not lined up to the heads on the left side, which is what you need to do to get the figures in perspective, is have all the heads lined up. You could also line them up at the waist, but in this case, it's the heads that I'm using. So I can adjust them easily with the gouache. The yellow on this particular building is what really caught my eye, and I want to make sure that that yellow is nice and bright. So I won't add too many other colors into that yellow to tone it down. And I'll add a bit of texture to it later. The interesting thing about Kensington Market is when you're just wandering around, it's very busy at the street level and you can see all the shops. But when you start to paint and you're looking at the buildings and the rooftops and all the different renovations they've done, it's really amazing what they've created. Some of it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but it's fun. Certainly fun and lots of character. Now that the main shapes are down, I can start working on refining some of the areas. So I'll work on the trees in the background, and I'll work on the building, the store fronts, adding more lights and darks so it reads like there's posters on the windows and there's some things going on inside. I'll work on the lights and darks of the windows as well, so it looks like the light is shining, the sky is shining off of the window. And this part is actually a lot of fun. I can go for quite a bit of time adding more and more details, but at some point I have to say, okay, that's enough. Once I get most of these details in, I take a good long look at the painting. Are there areas that need to be fixed? Have I forgotten any areas? Sometimes I've noticed afterwards that I left out one shadow that is kind of crucial, and so this is a good time to kind of step away from your painting and make sure that you've got all the elements that you want in there. The pole is a nice feature because it's got the light on it. So that's going to look good when I'm finished putting that in. And then of course at the end I'll be putting the electrical wires that are crisscrossing all over the place, and that's kind of nice, a nice feature to put in too. It sort of shows the chaoticness of the entire scene. So there's the finished painting. I hope you liked it. I like the way that this one turned out. I think it's quite vibrant with the yellow and the red, and the two figures turned out, I think, quite nicely as well. So I hope you like it, and we'll see you next time. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button below if you don't want to miss out on any new videos. comment if you have any questions and I'd be happy to answer them. Like the video and keep watching either the next video on the left or playlist on the right. See you next time.